Greetings everyone, this is Kamini Verma from GNA University. As we are taking already the previous sessions on phonetic and spoken English, so we are taking up this third section to continue with the same thing. In the previous two sessions, we have covered what is phonetic, what is phoneme, definition of phoneme, types of phonemes. Just for a recall, we'll be taking up a few things from the previous session and then we'll be taking up our today's topic, that is syllable over here. So as in the previous sessions, we have covered that there are total 44 phonemes in English, which are divided into two parts, that is 24 consonants and 20 vowels. So these 20 vowels are further divided into two categories, that is 12 monophthongs and 8 diphthongs. So we have covered these things in the previous sessions itself. We have explained all the 24 consonants in detail. We have explained all the 20 vowel sounds in detail. And today's session, in which we are going to take up the next topic, that is syllable. So just to start, initially, what is a syllable? Whenever we use the word syllable, syllable is the next higher unit of speech sounds after phonemes. Let's take a small example from the English alphabet itself. As a letter or an alphabet is the smallest unit of English writing. Alphabets or letters join together to form the next unit, that is word. So here we are not reaching exactly to the level of word, but when we use some consonants and vowels, we reach to the next higher unit, syllable, in which vowel is a nucleus because it is the most important part of it. So let's begin up with the topic syllable. Next higher unit after phoneme. How we can say that it is the next higher unit after phoneme? So let's take one example over here. For example, if I want to say rat in English, it is rat. But if I want to write it phonetically, I need to combine certain consonant sounds as well as certain vowel sounds. For example, I'll be using R sound, T sound and S sound to say rat, rat. So this is what? S sound is a nucleus over here which is making it a syllable. So any word can have one syllable to multiple syllables. The word which has one syllable, we call them as monosyllabic. And the words which have more than one syllable into it, we call them as multisyllabic. Now, if I say monosyllable and multisyllable, mono is telling that it is one in number, but in the multisyllabic, there are different number of syllables into a word. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6. To a 2-syllable word, we call them as the bisyllabic. For a 3-syllable word, we call them as trisyllabic. For a 4-syllabic word, we call them as the tetrasyllabic. For a 5-syllable word, we call them as the pentasyllabic. And for a 6-syllabic word, we call them as hexasyllabic, and so on. So whenever we'll be using the syllable, we'll be making the sense that how we'll be using them. In a word, if it is in English, it may have more than one vowel sound into it. or more than one vowel alphabet into it. But that doesn't mean the number of vowel alphabets is equivalent to the number of vowel sounds itself. Let's take one example over here, the word account. A-C-C-O-U-N-T. If I count alphabets, the vowel alphabets over here, it is 1, 2, and 3. But now I can say that it has 3 syllables. Can I say this way that it has 3 syllables? No, I cannot say it unless I write it phonetically. Once I write it phonetically, only then I'll be able to tell that how many syllables it has. So to the word account, we can write this word phonetically in this way. A, K, ow, nt. So a, k, ow, vowel, n, and t. Account. So here we can say we have only 2 vowel sounds with us. One is a, that is sure, and the second one is ow, which is a diphthong joined together and considered as one unit, one phoneme. So it has only 2 syllables. So I can say this thing that it has 2 syllables, not 3 like the earlier one, as we have discussed on the basis of alphabets. So it should be discussed, it should be classified on the basis of sounds which it contains, not the number of alphabetic vowel sounds. Moving ahead with the thing, if we say, let's take example of all the monosyllabic to hexasyllabic words or the pentasyllabic words. So let's take up the word cat over here. So if I write it phonetically, it is k, a, and t. This is monosyllabic division of this word. Let's take the second word, that is for the bisyllabic. If I take the word display, I'll write it as display. And for the syllabic division of this word, we need to bring a classification by writing this manner. Display. A hyphenation is required in between to classify the 2 different syllables. The first one is this and second is play. Moving ahead with the trisyllabic word, the trisyllabic word over here is harmony. First, I need to write it phonetically. This is harmony. And if I want to make the syllabic division of it, this should be written as ha, ma, ni. After the trisyllabic, next take up the next example, that is for the tetrasyllabic. Now the tetrasyllabic word over here is illustration. Let's take the word illustration. Phonetically, e, lus, tray, shun. As when I was writing this word, I wrote ill together, but when I was speaking, I was saying e, lus, tray, shun. So the syllabic division sometimes depends upon where you are taking the break in between the pronunciation of that word. So that's why the division for this word would be a, lus, tray, shun. Right? If we move to the next one, that is the penta. For the pentasyllabic word, let's take the example of the word electricity. E, lec, tree, s, t. And phonetically, how we are going to make the syllabus division? So this is electricity. And for the hexasyllabic, next take the one example, that is characterization. The phonetic description for this is ca, rick, to, rai, zay, shun. And the phonetic description for the syllabic division is cat, rick, to, rai, zay, and shun. So here we can make the syllabic division on the basis of these things. Just for an example over here, now we can check. For example, here we have one vowel in English and we have used one in phonetic. Okay, fine, we can say the number is equal to each other. In this word, we were having two vowels, alphabets of English, and we have used two vowel sounds over here, A and this. Again, equivalent to each other. Now let's take up the third one where we have only two vowel sound alphabets of English, that is A and O with us, because few consider Y as vowel many a time, but the basic treatment which we have learned during our school, we have learned that there are only 5, A, E, I, O and U. So, but here we can see we have two number over here, but here we are having the three vowel sounds with us. Moving ahead with the next one, here we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the classification over here is showing us only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same goes with this characterization. A, E, I, O. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to us. But here the division which we have made it of 6 only. So, once again I am repeating my words that the phonetic description and the classification has no connection with the alphabetic letters of English, because whenever we are making the syllabic division, we need not to consider the alphabets in mind. We need to understand the sounds of English in our mind. Let's take one simple example to elaborate a very common word. For example, if I write the word zoom, a simple and an easy word which is having two O's in between, zoom. But if I want to write it, so if I say it means it has two syllables into it because there are two O into it. But no, it has only one syllable because the phonetic description of this word is this. Z and M are consonants, whereas U is the only vowel over here which is making it a monosyllabic word. Another example to understand this, another very simple word, files. I and E is there, but it should have only one sound, files. So F, L, Z, these are consonants, and we have only one vowel, that is Irish. So whenever we are making syllabic division, we need to consider in mind that syllable needs a vowel sound into it, which is called as the nucleus in it, which is a mandatory thing into it. So with this, I am winding up today's session, but in the next session, I'll be taking a few words of transcription to make it understand in a better way. Thank you so much, everyone.